The Orlando Magic take the court in Berlin with an extra passenger on the practice court. Is this the moment for Franz Wagner today on Locked On Magic?
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is January 14th, 2026. My name is Philip Rossman-Reich. I'm the senior writer over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com, credentialed member of the Orlando Magic media since the 2012 season. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, signs are beginning to point, the whispers and the rumors are beginning to circulate that Franz Wagner will make his return Thursday. What the Magic have been missing in Franz Wagner and why his return could not come any sooner. Plus, talk about what the Magic are also missing on the injured report, why Jalen Suggs is still the biggest factor for this team. And we won't forget about Tristan da Silva. We'll talk a little about him and his homecoming coming up here in just a moment. First, we want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. No matter when you listen to us, whether it's first thing in the morning, whether it's right when we upload, we truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. You can make Locked On Magic even bigger part of your day by being one of our Orlando Magic dailies, our everydayers. That means you're listening to us every single day, Monday through Friday. That means you're listening to us on our weekend episodes. That means we're part of your regular podcast rotation. That means we are your first listen of the day. We want to thank you for being part of our great Locked On Magic community. And thank you for helping make the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. It's your team every day. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Orlando Magic have taken the practice court. They got their photo taken at the Brandenburg Gate. They are certainly enjoying their time in Berlin, but this is a business trip. It's business for the Magic as they're doing a lot of activations and continuing to build their international portfolio and continue to reach out and try and connect to the German market and hopefully get a little business that way. Certainly, they've done a lot of efforts there. It's business for the Magic because they've got two regular season games, trying to get back into this Eastern Conference home court advantage race. They're still very much in it, trying to get themselves back on track. And everyone knows, or everyone feels, that a big reason why the Magic have struggled the way they've struggled over the last 14 games without Franz Wagner is quite simply that they are missing two starters, two very key starters, two really core identity pieces in Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs. And so it was always a little bit of a concern about whether Franz Wagner would be ready. Would he be ready to play against the Memphis Grizzlies in Berlin, in his hometown? When he injured his ankle, when he had the high ankle sprain, when he got injured, everyone pretty much believed 4 to 6 weeks. And almost immediately I said, it's going to be touch and go for this game. And surely Franz wants to play in this game. I think if he had his druthers, if he's even 70%, he will want to play in this game. But of course, that decision, not entirely up to him. Medical staff will have their say. Everyone will have their say to determine whether he's able to play in this game, whether he can actually step foot on the court. There's still a lot of work to do on that front. There's still plenty to build on, plenty to grow, and plenty to get us to there. But Franz has got to get himself on the court. And slowly but surely he has. Over the last few weeks, there's been some video from him on the road trip, on the court, getting some work in. Hasn't been shooting on the main court for the 2 home games that the Magic had over the weekend. But he has been practicing, and as the Magic got ready for their practice in Berlin, yes, there are Getty photos. I have access to Getty through Fansided. There are Getty photos of him on the court practicing. And all the indications are pointing toward Franz Wagner making his return. David Steele of FanDuel Sports Florida was on Game On 96.9 The Game with Brendan Kravitz. And he said he would be surprised if Franz Wagner does not play on Thursday. I'll say this from everything that I understand, talking to some of my sources and confirming with some of the other reporters. We're all probably sharing a lot of the same sources. This is the indication that I've been given to. Now, obviously, that does not mean 100% he's playing, go book it now. But it certainly seems like the stars are aligning. But we'll wait to see what happens on Thursday. Certainly, he feels very, very close. Like the impression that I got is, well, Thursday is certainly a possibility, not 100%. But it certainly feels like he's very, very close. And so it would not shock me if he plays Thursday. Would not shock me if he plays Sunday. Would not shock me if they wait until the team is back home. But certainly would not shock me if he plays Thursday against the Memphis Grizzlies. What I think is important to do then for now is to just remind everybody what the Magic have been missing. Orlando, since Franz Wagner's injury, has, frankly, I think we could say this, has fallen off a cliff. That's quite frankly has fallen off a cliff. The Orlando Magic, since Wagner's injury, are 8-8. 16 games, they've gone 8-8. They've alternated wins and losses for the last 14 games. Really, last 15 games, if you include the first game where the Magic lost to the Denver Nuggets. They're 14-10 when Wagner went out. Number 11 offense in the league, 115.7 points per 100 possessions, which again, we will take. And the number 5 defense in the league, 111.8 points allowed per 100 possessions. In those 16 games, the Magic have fallen to 22nd, or the Magic in that time period have been 22nd in the league in offensive rating with a 112.5 offensive rating and 21st with a 116 defensive rating. In many ways, for the last 16 games, not an insignificant period of time, about a quarter of a season, a little bit less than a quarter of a season. In that time, the Magic are playing like one of the worst teams in the league. When I had fans say, like, why are the Magic struggling to beat the Pelicans? Why couldn't the Magic beat the Wizards? Why are they struggling to beat the Nets? All three of those teams, I mean, the Pelicans snapped a 9-game losing streak and beat the Wizards, but the Wizards have been playing a lot better. The Nets have been playing a lot better. The Pelicans, despite their losses, have been playing a lot better. And the Magic, frankly, have been playing like one of the worst teams in the league. They're playing like a 30-win team right now. Their overall rating, they fall into 16th in offensive rating for the season, which, again, we will take. But they are 11th in defensive rating. Unacceptable by the Magic standards. And Franz Wagner said it pretty clearly when he spoke to Josh Cohen of OrlandoMagic.com. We got to get back to our identity. Well, Franz is kind of a big part of that. Franz Wagner has had a really strong season, 22.7 points per game, career best 49% shooting. He's shooting a much more normal and acceptable 36% from three. Still that great downhill attacker. Frankly, I think he's been an all-defensive team level defender this year. No one will give him the respect for that because he's not Jalen Suggs and shouting and demonstrating for that and getting all the steals and blocks and stats that people like to see from defenders. But he's been really good. The kind of versatile defender the Magic love. And frankly, I've been saying this for a long time. I think Franz has had all defensive team potential for a few years now. But here's the big thing. Starting from the time, the Magic have a plus 2.7 net rating with Franz Wagner on the floor. That trails only Jalen Suggs among rotation players before Franz's injury. We'll get to Jalen's numbers here in a minute. The Magic even have a 111.4 defensive rating with Wagner on the floor. Offense about breaks even to their overall average, at least before his injury. The Magic have indeed let a lot slip. I don't think I need numbers for you to know that. Defense demonstrably worse. Rebounding demonstrably worse. Turnovers up and down. Offense abysmally bad. Franz Wagner he makes a lot of things work. It's another shooter, obviously. It's another guy who can attack. It allows the Magic to consistently have someone who can get his own shot and get to the rim and put pressure on the rim, which is the whole point of this Magic offense. It gives them one of those guys at all times. Like, frankly, when everybody's healthy, the Magic probably shouldn't have any lineup that doesn't have one of Paolo or Franz in it at any time during game, at any point during the game. And again, we'll get to the playoffs. That absolutely should be the case. Because Franz, again, is a star in his own right. Franz Wagner is an all-star in his own right, and he would be an all-star if not for the injury. We talked a little bit a few weeks ago about the narrow path. Like, yeah, if Franz comes back here, starters are going to be announced on Monday. If Franz comes back here, has a really strong 2 weeks, Magic push up the standings, maybe he gets in. Certainly could be a first alternate or a second alternate to the game. All of this is to say the Magic are just a significantly better team with Franz Wagner. And this isn't a Franz or Paolo thing. I'm not here to divide anybody today. It's just a fact. Franz Wagner makes this team a lot better, just like Paolo makes this team a lot better. The Magic need to see all of the pieces together. And whether that happens Thursday, happens Sunday, happens next week, whenever it happens, that is what's going to turn this team around. So will, of course, the turn of Jalen Suggs. Why the numbers say Jalen Suggs is the most consequential and most important player on the team, we'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by my friends over at FanDuel. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Fridays from between 6 and 7:30 Eastern are appointment viewing because of NBA Happy Hour. You get something new, boosts, bonuses, surprises, and it's perfect right before the games and the best way to start your weekend. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That is NBA Happy Hour, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is also brought to you by our friends over at Wayfair. The new year is here, and it is the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks and feels. That is why you should turn to Wayfair. It's a one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. From bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes it easy to start the year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need for a full home refresh, all in one place. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and budget. You can pick up anything you want to complement your room, find pieces that match your style without spending a fortune, and shopping is easy, delivery is smooth, and everything arrives exactly as expected. Get organized, refreshed, and back on track this new year for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. We want to thank you for making Locked On Magic your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go check out our new Everydayer Club. It's access to an ad-free audio feed of this podcast, compatible with all the major podcasting apps, and you get an invite to the members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server. That includes a group chat just for listeners of the show. We're still growing the community, but I'm providing my 3 thoughts after every quarter in there exclusive to my subscribers, whether it's my Patreon or the Everydayer Club. Go to lockedonmagic.supercast.com. That's lockedonmagic.supercast.com, or tap the link in the show notes to learn more. Undoubtedly, Franz Wagner is going to make a major impact on this team. Like that's not rocket science. Like, it's just having another guy who can get you 25, can get you 30 on any given night, just like Paolo can get you 30 on any given night. It gives the defense something else to think about, whether it's transition. Like, one of the reasons why teams are probably attacking the offensive glass a lot more, they're not as scared of the Magic in transition without Franz Wagner out there. Remember Eurobasket? Like, teams were scared of Franz in transition. And I will note, it's been a while since I've checked, but Paolo is better in transition efficiency-wise, like points per possession-wise, but Franz is always looking to run. He's always looking to play faster. And so That's an element that the Magic are just missing right now. Same thing with the guy that we need to talk about, because the Magic will be better with Franz Wagner in the lineup. They will win multiple games in a row when Franz Wagner returns, perhaps even Thursday. They'll get that dastardly and elusive second straight win. But no player this season probably has made a bigger impact and probably has a more positive impact on this team than Jalen Suggs. And the numbers really say it all. Like, it is crazy how much better the Magic are with Jalen Suggs on the floor. Like, insanely crazy how much better they are with Jalen Suggs on the floor. And we'll even get to some individual player numbers right now as well. With Jalen Suggs on the floor this year, the Magic have a plus 10.1 net rating. They're outscoring opponents by 10 points per 100 possessions. That is elite of the elite. The team as a whole only has a plus 1 net rating. That's for the whole season, so it doesn't include the time that he's been out. If we adjust for the time that he's been out, if you adjust for the time, and we'll cut it off at when he got hurt. When he got hurt against the Knicks. We won't include the 2 games that he played after. But through the NBA Cup, the Magic had a plus 9.6 net rating, which is still crazy. That's 6 points per 100 possessions better than they had overall, plus 3.6. Offense, not significantly better at 116.3, but again, we will take that. That is really good for this team. It's really about the defense. There's some players that you could just see, oh, that guy is making a difference on defense. Jonathan Isaac, for as much as people want to worry about him, and we may do another trade deadline stuff tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. Jonathan Isaac, the Magic through December 13th had a 104.7 defensive rating with Jonathan Isaac on the floor. For as much as Jonathan Isaac has struggled in other areas, his defense is pretty close to back to being an elite impactor. Jalen Suggs is right behind him at 106.8. That's 5.3 points per 100 possessions better than the 6th best defense in the entire league through December 13th. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And you can see Jalen Suggs' impact elsewhere too. Looking at 2-man lineups, which again, take with some grain of salt. But in 432 minutes with Franz Wagner, the Magic have a plus 9.7 net rating, 116.7 offensive rating, 107 defense rating. Elite defense. In 423 minutes with Desmond Bane, the Magic have a plus 10.5 net rating, a 118 offensive rating, a 107.5 defensive rating. Elite offense, elite defense. Those are your 2 best spot-up shooters in Desmond Bane and Jalen Suggs. And Bane's not even having a great spot-up shooting year, but those are your 2 best spot-up shooters. And Jalen Suggs shooting better than 40% on catch-and-shoot threes this year. Like, this overall 3-point percentage isn't great because he's taking a lot of pull-ups with Paolo out, but he is one of the best catch-and-shoot 3-point shooters in the league. If the Magic are, if the league is desperate to have the Magic have a representative at All-Star Weekend, Jalen Suggs for the 3-point shootout, assuming he's healthy, and I don't think I want him traveling for that, but Jalen Suggs with 3-point shootout would be the right choice. They'll probably pick Desmond Bane, and that wouldn't be terrible. And Magic right now may not have a representative at All-Star Weekend, which may or may not be a good thing. Tristan da Silva might go. But yeah, like, that's how good Jalen Suggs has been as a spot-up shooter. Further, Anthony Black, a plus 21.6 net rating with a 120.8 offensive rating, 99.2 defensive rating, in 222 minutes. Pretty good. Paolo Banchero, the man of mystery, 15 games, 7-8 in those 15 games, 221 minutes, a plus 14.8 net rating, a 120.9 offensive rating, which is elite, and a 106.1 defensive rating, because Suggs, like so many other players, benefits from the gravity that Paolo creates. In fact, the most used lineup the Magic have with Jalen Suggs that has a negative net rating is 27 minutes with Jet Howard. And I don't think we're going to read too much into that. Really, I don't think we could read too much into that. A, not enough minutes, and B, like, okay, like, you know, whatever. Jalen Suggs. Look, I'm gonna name my first half MVP here it's it's probably gonna be Franz. It might be Jalen Suggs, but Jalen Suggs has been essential. And just like last year, I named my third quarter MVP as Jalen Suggs and his absence. And it was just clear by his absence how much the team missed the energy that he has. Over the last 15 games, 16 games, whatever it is, of the 14 games, Jalen Suggs' absence has been the biggest story for the Magic. It has been the biggest thing that everyone probably acknowledges, but nobody wants to talk about. And that is the missing piece of the puzzle. That's the story right there. The Magic need Jalen Suggs. He lifts everybody's energy up. He gives the team crazy good defense. He's a great three-point shooter, spot-up shooter, not pull-up shooter. But the Magic are an Eastern Conference Finals level team when they have Jalen Suggs. The numbers all support that. And now it's just about the patience and the waiting. And it, by all accounts, it doesn't seem like Jalen is that far off either. I don't think Jalen plays this weekend. I think it's potentially likely he returns for the Charlotte game when they get back home. But he's got to get on the court too. And I don't know if he's been on the court. And right now, I think the Magic are more concerned with whatever aches and pains, whatever little knocks he has. The Magic have held the boat steady. Like, they have held this boat steady for Franz. As much as you want to complain about it, 7-7 since Franz Wagner's, or 8-8 since Franz Wagner's injury, it hasn't gotten the job done, but it hasn't taken the Magic out either. Like I've been saying, the Magic have been grinding pars. And hopefully with Franz Wagner, they'll start hitting some birdies. With Jalen Suggs, it's moving day. They're going to hit some eagles. They're going to eagle some par threes. They're going to drive that drivable par four, to strain my golf analogy. Jalen Suggs is a true game changer for this team. And whatever it takes to get him through to the end of the season, that's what the Magic have to do, because he is their ace in the hole. Thursday's game, not just a homecoming for Franz and Moe Wagner, how Tristan da Silva has gotten himself back into rhythm and back into the lineup. We'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to my friends over at ZocDoc. Finding a doctor you actually like can feel like discovering a diamond in the rough. You want someone in network nearby with availability, but you also want a doctor who really listens, makes you feel comfortable, explains things clearly, and helps you walk out feeling confident about your next step. Your diamond in the rough doctor exists, and finding them is easy with ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can choose someone you truly connect with. You can search by specialty or symptoms to quickly find the right fit. Usually appointments happen within 24 to 72 hours. You can even book real-time availability to book instantly and avoid phone tag that you constantly get with doctors. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA, ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. Thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring this message. Thursday's game is a homecoming for Franz and Moe Wagner. They're from Berlin. They've said they used to ride their bikes to watch games at Uber Arena. And I'm sorry, I'm butchering my German pronunciation as always. They used to ride their bikes to Uber Arena to watch games there. They played for Alba Berlin. Like, Franz and Moe both spoke to the media before Tuesday's practice. They're trying to downplay everything, but they've said yeah, this is really cool to be home, to see some family and friends, to take some of the players. The players have been asking where should we go? What dinner should we have? They had a big dinner Monday night. They are the unofficial hosts of the week. Franz and Moe Wagner are hosting the NBA in their city. And it very much feels like there's a lot that they're very, very proud and hopeful that this is truly an inspiration to the next generation. But let's not forget the Magic have a third German on the team. Tristan da Silva is from Munich, very different city, further away. Germany is a very big country. And Tristan da Silva said his parents are going to be there. He's going to have friends from Munich. Like, everybody's coming to town for this. And so it's also the homecoming for him as well. And for him, it has been a great season. As a reporter asked, and was translated, so I don't want to quote directly, as a reporter asked, like, how have you taken what you did at Eurobasket into the season? He's like, yeah, you can definitely tell there was a boost. Tristan da Silva is averaging 9.8 points per game. He's shooting 39.6% from three. He's had a major impact for this team. But obviously, he was also coming off of some difficult games. We could all kind of see like he was favoring his shoulder a little bit, and he finally sat for a few games a couple weeks ago to just let that rest, to let that heal, to get a little bit better. He sat to heal that shoulder during the Magic's 4-game West Coast road trip. In the 9 games since returning from that injury, he is back to averaging 10.1 points per game. He's shooting 51.7% from three on just 3.2 attempts per game, adding 2.7 rebounds per game. Plus minus isn't where he wanted. It's minus 38 in 9 games. But he shot better than 40% in all those games but 3. In 6 of those 9 games. He was 0 for 2 in Sunday's game, but that's coming off a 4 for 5 showing against Brooklyn. He didn't play against the Sixers because of back spasms. And we saw him in the locker room. He was very, very wrapped up. He was very, very much trying to take care of that back. Didn't get it ready to play. So obviously he sat. Tristan da Silva is kind of back to that role of just being the spot-up shooter, the smart spot-up shooter that goes where the team needs him to go. 15 for 29 on threes, we will take that. Again, get those attempts up. If anything, the Magic's biggest problem right now is the same problem they had 2 years ago. They don't take enough threes. Find ways to generate threes. Big criticism of Jamal Mosley right now. Fair criticism of Jamal Mosley right now. Find a way to generate more threes. That's getting out in transition, getting stops too, by the way. It's not just about setting things up in the half court. It's still about their defense and getting their defense right. But the bottom line is this. The Orlando Magic are the worst three-point shooting team, or the second worst three-point shooting team in the league this year. Coming off a great three-point shooting game against the Pelicans. So it can happen. It has happened once. It can happen again. Don't need the Sacramento Kings to shoot well. But Tristan da Silva is a hugely important piece as a reliable three-point shooter at the NBA level. A reliable role player who the Magic can count on to deliver big shots, to be calm and poised, to fit their defensive scheme, and to help spread the floor. For whatever reason, I don't think da Silva has the gravity that his stats merit. And again, maybe that's just calculated risk by defenses right now. Defenses know the Magic aren't going to shoot enough threes to bother them. So if you even let good shooters take threes, it's not going to be a problem. Like the Magic average, I think, 33 three-point attempts per game. Getting that even up to 35 or 36 per game, I think, would dramatically change the Magic. If the Magic shot 40 threes per game or upper 30s, like 38, 37, 39 threes per game, we're not even talking about huge amounts now. But making them at a decent clip and taking more is going to reshape the floor. It's, again, why the Magic need Jalen Suggs, why the Magic need Franz Wagner, why the Magic need Tristan da Silva. And so, yes, this is a week we are celebrating Moe and Franz Wagner. They are centerpiece players. They are keys to so much that the Magic are trying to do. But this is also Tristan da Silva's week. And Tristan da Silva has been a huge factor for this team already this season, and someone who is only going to continue to grow. That's going to do it for me today, though. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. Of course, find me on Twitter at @PhilipR_OMD and on Blue Sky at PhilipRR. You can subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, Odyssey, and all the places you download podcasts to your podcast enabled listening device. You can find us on YouTube as well. Just search for Locked On Magic. For the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can find us there on Twitter at OMagicDaily. And for even more Orlando Magic content, be sure to check out my Patreon page, Orlando Magic Hub, at patreon.com/Orlando Magic Hub. As always, thank you for your support. We also want to make sure you know about our Everydayer Club. You can get Locked On Magic ad-free, plus members-only Discord access, and more. Head to lockedonmagic.supercast.com to join the club today. Again, your support for not only the Everydayer Club, but as my Patreon as well, to help support my coverage of the team. Allows me to travel. I'm planning a couple trips in March, obviously planning to travel for the playoffs, Your support helps me cover this team and bring you the insight and analysis that I hope you absolutely love. So please take a moment to check out our subscriber options. If you like, Locked On Magic will always be free. There'll always be a free option available for that. But please do check out our subscriber options available now. For those of you on video, we are going to send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen NBA game night on Locked On NBA. That's going to do it for me today, though. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. We'll be back tomorrow for another episode of Locked On Magic. But until then, for Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, this has been Philip Rossman-Reich. We'll see you all again next time for another episode of Locked On Magic.